Hello, I'm very excited to be here with you right now today, and very excited to talk about the topic I'm going to share with you today, which is why your own fears are stopping you from your success and what you can do about it. And I'm basically going to share with you the 5 things I did to overcome my own fears. And this is a topic I feel really passionate about. I have, in my journey since starting my first business in 2011, I have met so many amazing and inspiring women who have all these amazing talents and big dreams, but generally what's keeping them from going after their dreams is their fears and self-doubts. And that's why I want to talk about this topic to you today and show you what I did to kind of battle my own fears and self-doubts, because that's definitely something I used to struggle with big time in the past. And I still do, every single time I launch a new product or I come out with a new service, I'm always scared. What will people think, is anyone going to buy it? It's totally normal to feel that way. And especially to feel women, a lot of women struggle with this. I don't know if anyone of you has heard of the imposter syndrome or suffers from the imposter syndrome. If you don't know what it is, I looked up the exact definition. It's basically an inability to internalize your accomplishments and a persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud. So it's, if you're thinking, I'm not good enough to do this, who's going to invest in me? Who am I to teach someone? I don't have a website, I don't have a degree, I don't have a certificate, all of those thoughts. Hi, does any of that sound familiar to you guys? If it does, just type in yes. It's definitely something I have struggled with in the past, and I know a lot of women struggle with that, and that's why I feel so passionate about working with women and helping them kind of overcome these fears. Thank you for all the hearts. So if you know what I'm talking about, and you have had these fears or sometimes feel these things, then today is definitely right for you. Now, just checking my notes. So basically, the 5 things I'm going to share with you, the 5 things I did to kind of overcome my fears and to start a business that I love, and to kind of keep in it, even though I have had failures and I have had moments of being absolutely terrified. So the first thing, I just mentioned it, is you have to embrace failure. Because guess what? You will fail along the way. In fact, most successful people do. But what makes them successful is that they get up, they learn from their failure, and they try again. So I want to tell you a little story. When I did my very first webinar, live webinar, I was terrified. I basically knew if I wanted to get more people to buy my courses, my online courses, I had to invest in Facebook ads. So I hired a Facebook ads specialist, and he told me what's working right now is live webinars. And I really didn't want to hear anything about it. I was like, oh my God, I can't do it. I definitely can't talk for an hour, just give a monologue and talk to basically just my face. I don't want to do it. And he was like, well, this is what's working, so if you want to succeed, you have to do it. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. I basically, worked with this guy for a month. I spent a lot of money on this webinar platform because he said it was the best. I prepared my webinar. I was so nervous, like for a whole week, I basically didn't sleep because I was scared shitless. And then the day of the webinar, I, tried the platform several times, just tested it again and again and again. And then when it was finally time to go live, the audio didn't work. And some of you were actually there, I remember, and I couldn't believe it, and I tried to refresh and I logged out and logged in again and it just didn't work. I honestly just wanted to cry. Luckily, everyone who was on the webinar was super supportive and was, helping me to get through it. So I ended up just hosting the webinar on Instagram Live. I was filming the presentation with my phone and talking, and I just wanted to cry, but I somehow got through it. Obviously, I didn't pitch my course because I felt so embarrassed. And that was it. So afterwards, there was a lot of tears, but then I knew if I want to do this again, I have to do this again, basically, because if I don't do it again, I will never do it. And so 2 weeks later, I did another webinar. It went well. And, ever since then, I have done, I don't know, this is maybe 20 or over 20 live talks. And every single time it gets easier. I'm still nervous every single time before I go live. I'm still worried that something might go wrong and there's some technical issues. But, I also know that by doing this, by showing up live, by talking to you, by sharing my stories with you, by letting you to get to know me, it's a much more effective way than writing a blog post that no one is going to read. So I also learned that it's all about baby steps, right? So instead of doing this big live webinar where I had so much invested, I should have probably started with smaller lives and maybe an Instagram live, just to kind of get used to everything before pitching my course. You just have to start somewhere, and it's better to start small and then kind of work your way up than to just have this huge thing in front of you and feel so nervous and scared about it, because it's just not a good idea. So basically, embrace failure. Every time you fail, it's a chance to evaluate. Every time you fail, you build a resilience to failure. So that means you fail and you come back stronger. And so I want to ask you, what's the one thing that you've been wanting to do where your fear of failure has held you back? And I would love for you to type this in if you want to. You don't have to share. If you don't want to share it, that's fine. But if you want to, I would love to hear it. What's the one thing you've been wanting to do but you've been scared doing it? Is it maybe recording a video, maybe reaching out to someone for a possible collaboration, maybe giving a live workshop or a class, maybe going live? So this is actually my co-working, so I didn't put up any of these pictures, but so do you guys want to share something with you? If not, I could tell you 10 things I'm scared of doing. Next week, I'm giving my first in-person talk here in Barcelona, and I'm very nervous about it. I got asked to do it, and so I just said, going live and telling more people about my platform. Yes, I can totally relate to that. And so what I said, I know you joined a little bit later, but start with small lives. You make beautiful dishes. You can start by going live and just filming yourself preparing a dish. You don't even have to show your face. You can just kind of get a tripod and put your phone on it and film your hands and your bowl while preparing it. That could be a great way to get started with baby steps, remember? And then you get used to just speaking to the camera, to your phone, and get used to just giving a monologue. Like now I can talk for an hour, just, watch my face and talk. It's normal to me now. So definitely going live is a great way to grow your audience and to grow that know, like, and trust factor with your audience. So I 100% recommend you do it. If you need any help, you can reach out to me and I'll help you with your first live. So I would like to ask you, you have that thing that you're scared of doing. What is the worst thing that can happen if it doesn't work out? If you're trying to record a video, what's the worst thing that can happen? You suck at creating videos. How would you deal with it? You can take a course. You can learn to get better at taking videos. If you want to give a workshop or a class, what's the worst thing that can happen? Nobody shows up. How would you deal with it? Like, is there a way you can deal with it? Absolutely. You might just have to do more advertising, you know, partner up with someone, change your strategy. So I would love to ask you to make a commitment to yourself about doing something you've been scared of doing, and then to go for it. And if you fail, I want you to do it again and again and again. That's right. Practice does make perfect. Try again and improve and learn from your mistakes. Absolutely, Tamara. You know, because you will get better. You will learn from your mistakes, and eventually you will succeed. So it really is, if you want to succeed in business or in anything, you have to show up again and again and again. You have to keep practicing and learn from your mistakes. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is your mindset. So let's say you have all the right intentions, you're willing to take a risk, but then something doesn't work the way you expected, or it doesn't work fast enough. And it's so easy to fall into that spiral of negativity where we start doubting ourselves, where we feel stressed out, and where we just stop believing in ourselves. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Like you have all the good intentions and they go right out the window, and then doubt and fears are straight back in. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Just type in yes if you've experienced that. No one? I'm loving the hearts, but give me some yeses if you know what I'm talking about. You've got the right intentions, but then something doesn't work and you're just feeling down again. So how can you stop this spiral of negativity? Yes, Linda says yes. I'm right there with you, Linda. I feel it all the time. So, but what can you do to stop this spiral of negativity? How can you get out of these doubts and disbeliefs out of your head and instead stay focused on what you need to do to actually achieve your goals? And really, the secret is it's all about your mindset. Now, mindsets are basically habits our mind creates based on previous experiences. Our mindsets are made up of beliefs that we have about our abilities and our skills, and those beliefs basically affect how we think, what we feel, and what we do. Now, if you know what beliefs are basically just thoughts that we keep thinking over and over and over again until we stop believing them. And often we're not even really aware of these beliefs that we have about ourselves. But we do subconsciously express them through our language and through the words we choose. And so over time, every time you think words in your head or you speak, they're solidifying your belief. So, you know, if you keep thinking, I can't do this, I don't know if I can do this, I'm not good enough, then you start believing that you're not good enough. But if you know that beliefs are just thoughts we keep thinking over and over again, then that means that by being conscious of your language and of your thoughts, you can question them and you can challenge them. And that's how you can stop limiting your possibilities. And the key to success is having a success mindset. Now, the good news is that you can learn to control your thoughts, and you can learn to press pause on those negative thoughts, and you can learn to create a success mindset. And I have to admit, it took me a long time to kind of understand these things and to implement them and to get to where I am today. And everything really changed earlier this year when I was living in New York and my life got turned upside down. I was in a really bad place, and I somehow, like, everything kind of around me fell apart, and I started getting into meditation. And in one of these meditations, I met Pandit, who's giving a free training with me on Friday. So if you haven't signed up yet, I'm going to share the link with you in a minute. And he basically I went to one of his meditation classes, and afterwards we got talking, and I was like, I want to get started with this, but I don't really know how. It seems so overwhelming. It seems so difficult to go from never having meditated before to just starting it. And he basically told me, just do a 30-day challenge, meditate for 5 minutes a day, do it every day for 30 days, and then see how you feel. And I can honestly say, doing that and then starting to learn more about mindset and having a mindset practice in place, which I now do every single morning, takes me about 15 minutes. It has completely changed me, how I deal with stress. It's changed my business. It's changed how I feel about my business and the kind of emotion I send out about my business. It's incredible. I can't even begin to tell you how it's changed my life. So if you haven't signed up to the free workshop that Pandit is giving on Friday, it's at 12 p.m. and it's basically a mindset and meditation workshop that he's hosting. Definitely sign up. I'm going to share the link in the Facebook group after this. And come and join. He used to live as a monk in New York City for 15 years. He has an incredible story. He's super inspiring, and he is a leading expert in this field, and he's doing this workshop with me completely free for you guys. So I can't urge you enough to join, because it's going to be amazing. And he like really changed my life, and I know he can really help you get to that level if you want to too. So I'm just going to recap. So the first two things I told you, for anyone who's joined later, the things to overcome your fear and start a successful business are, first, to embrace failure, because you will fail. So you just have to learn to deal with it and get better. And then second, to change your mindset. Now the third thing is you have to stop comparing yourself to everybody else. It's so easy to fall into that comparison trap and to look at other people's successes and to make yourself feel insignificant, incompetent, and unsuccessful. Yes, the internet is a busy place. Yes, there's probably 100 or 1,000 people out there who are doing what you're doing and who are offering the same thing that you're offering. And yes, there's those people out there that are further down the path than you are and who already have an audience and a website and something to offer. But you have to remember, no one is going to teach what you teach the way you do. No one is going to reach people and connect with people the way you do. Your audience will relate to you because of your story. So instead of looking at what everybody else is doing, focus on you. What makes you unique? What makes you different? What is your story? Instead of trying to copy someone else, focus on finding your voice. Focus on your story. I honestly can't say this enough. And then go out and tell it. And you'll start seeing how you suddenly attract and connect with the right people. Now, obviously, finding your voice takes time. Kim, thank you. Wisdom. Finding your voice takes time, and getting known as an expert in your niche takes time. Nothing happens overnight. If you look at any of the big shots in your industry, you'll know that none of them got to where they are now overnight. Most of them started years ago, and they don't always promote that. They kind of make it seem like they just did this one thing and then became a millionaire overnight. It's not true. They've had years and years of trying out things, of failing, of growing, of years of experience that in the end leads them to where they are. Remember that you have a unique gift to give to this world. You have the ability to help others. So what's your story? What's something you've achieved? Something you've overcome? Use your story to position yourself as an expert. use your story to make yourself relatable and positively vulnerable. You know, what struggles have you overcome? What problems did you used to have that you've overcome? By talking about that, you show that you know what you're doing. You show your audience. It is a special topic for women. You're a man, that's fine. I struggle with this too, but a lot of women struggle with this, and that's why I feel so passionate about this. You know, show your audience that you know what they're going through, you understand what they're feeling, you show them that you've been there and how you dealt with it, and that's why you can help them. So focus on that. Give before you ask, build relationships, create value. Do everything you can to become an expert in your field, and then focus on growing your audience. And I promise you, if you do those things, the success will come. You just need to really stop worrying about what everyone else out there is doing and just start focusing on what you can do and what you can offer to this world and to your audience. Okay? Now, the next thing, start before you're ready. Now, they say the best time to start your business was a year ago, and the second best time is now. And I completely agree with that. Don't wait until you're ready. You'll probably never feel ready to start your own business. You know, most likely you don't have all the answers going in. You probably don't know what your zone of genius is yet. What exactly you're going to specialize in. You probably don't know exactly who your ideal client is or what you're going to offer to that audience. And that's totally okay. Because as soon as you start putting yourself out there, as soon as you start creating content and growing your audience, you'll very quickly learn what are the things they want, what things they struggle with, and what you can create to serve them. So the truth is, if you don't start somewhere, it's going to be really difficult for you to figure these things out. You'll just end up procrastinating, and 2 years later from now, you'll still be in the exact same position as you are today. Clarity comes from action, not thought. That is one of my favorite Marie Forleo quotes. Now, when I first started out, I never thought I was going to become known as the Instagram girl. Like, I had no idea what I wanted to offer. When I started, I just knew I wanted it to be something around marketing, and I wanted to work with people in the food industry. I've always had this thing for food photos and looking at pictures of food. And so Instagram just kind of really seemed like a great platform for me. And I also understood that it was where my target audience hangs out, right? So food bloggers, food photographers, they all use Instagram kind of as a platform to show off their work. So I started my Instagram account 3 months before I launched my website. And basically in those first 3 months, I just really figured out who I wanted to attract. And once I knew that, I started talking to these people to figure out what things they were struggling with, what they needed help with, and what I could create that they would be happy to pay for. And basically, as soon as I launched my website, I had all these ideas for content I could create. In fact, in the first 6 months, I created 4 free challenges that got me my first 1,000 subscribers. And remember, I had never written a blog post before. I didn't know anyone in the blogging world. I didn't know anything about email marketing. I started from absolutely zero. So in the first 6 months, I created 4 challenges. I got to my first 1,000 subscribers. And I also created 2 paid courses and launched them successfully because I had spent that time getting to know my audience and learning what it is that they want and need. So when I'm telling you start before you're ready, I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow, to just start doing something. I'll get to that in just 1 second. Like, you definitely need a plan. So Kim is asking, how important do you think it is to have a blog? You know, I don't consider myself a blogger. I actually don't really enjoy writing blog posts. I grow my audience through other things. So I have grown my audience through doing live challenges, email challenges, live webinars. You know, now I give a lot of live talks. So I definitely think there's other ways of growing a business and starting a business without having a blog. It helps, but you know, I'm very much about being efficient in everything I do. So now every time I give a live talk, I create an email around it that I send out, and then I turn this live talk into a blog post, and then I have this video of this live talk, and I basically use that as a content upgrade. So if I have a little blog post, and then I say, do you want to watch the full video and learn my 5 strategies to overcome your fear and start a business you love? Sign up here and you'll get the access to the video. So, you know, it really depends on what you're going to, it just depends on what you're going to focus on. There's so many different social media platforms out there. I always just recommend my clients, you know, pick 1 or maximum 2 and then really focus on bossing those. Don't try to be everywhere, because you're just going to spend all day on social media and writing blog posts, and you don't even know if anyone's reading them. So just to answer your question, yes, a blog can help, but you don't necessarily need to have one. I hope that was the answer you're looking for. I mean, when you have a blog, you know, you have to spend all that time on doing SEO and then driving traffic to your blog. So you probably need to be on Pinterest and, you know, do all these other things to drive traffic to your blog. So if that is a platform you want to focus on, then go for it. But there's a million other things you can do to get clients and to grow your audience. Okay. So coming back to what we just talked about, start before you're ready. I would like to ask you, what is the one action you can take today to make a start on creating your business? Who can you talk to? Who can you connect with? What research can you do? What book can you read? What class can you take? You know, what goal can you set yourself? You don't necessarily have to spend lots of money to make a start today, but do something. Pick one action and then do it. So what other platforms do I recommend other than a blog? Like I said, you can do live webinars, you can do in-person workshops, you can give talks, you can do Facebook ads, you can do live challenges, you can do email challenges. There's so many different options. It really depends what you want to focus on. You know, you can use Facebook groups. A lot of my friends have started a business by being active in Facebook groups. When you start a business, and if you want to work as a coach in some way, or if you want to work with clients one-on-one, you do need to show that you know what you're talking about and that you have the expertise to teach someone or to work with someone. So one way of doing that is by having a blog and writing about these things, but you can just as well give, like I said, you know, give those live talks, do live webinars, on Instagram. You know, you can have an Instagram account and show that you're an expert there by the things you share in your caption, by doing Instagram lives. There's one of the accounts I started following very early on. Her Instagram name is Sourdough Mania. She has grown, like, in 1 year to over 40,000 followers. She makes amazing sourdoughs, and she started doing these live videos of herself making these amazing breads in these beautiful decorations on her breads, and she's grown to over 40,000 followers just by doing that. So that is a way of showing your expertise. There's lots of different ways, but you have to start doing something. So one of my clients, actually, I want to quickly talk to you about, because Linda is here today. We had one call and she told me, you know, I want to start working with clients. Linda has an incredible story and is very inspiring, but she didn't know how to make a start and how to basically put herself out there and get in front of her ideal audience. And so in that one session we had, we discussed that she would give an in-person workshop, and she would talk about some of the topics she wants to work on with her future clients, but basically just to give like a 1-hour talk, just to make a start. And next month she's doing it. She's partnered up with someone. She's going to give a workshop in London. She's charging for it. People are paying for that. And she's just starting, you know, she just made a decision to make it happen and she's doing it. So just to recap really quickly, yes, Linda, I'm so excited. I wish I was there. Linda is in Facebook Live. I'm so proud of her and I can't wait to hear how it goes. I know she's going to do amazing. So basically, number 1, embrace failure. Number 2, work on your mindset. Number 3, stop comparing yourself to everybody else and focus on your story instead and what you can offer. Number 4, start before you're ready. And number 5, don't try and figure it all out on your own. Now, especially if you're starting a business on your own, it's so not easy. Starting a business is never easy, but it's even more difficult if you're trying to do it all on your own. If you want to create a successful business, then you have to have the mindset to invest in yourself and in your business. And making an investment in yourself is always going to be the most profitable investment you'll ever make. Yes, you can figure things out on your own, but really what that means is just that it's going to take you so much longer to get to where you want to get. Now, when I started my Instagram account, I didn't just take one, I took various Okay, we're back. So when I started my Instagram account, I took all the trainings I could, and then within 6 months, I had grown to over 10,000 followers. Could I have done it on my own? Yes, probably, but definitely not in that time, right? When I decided to go into consulting, I hired a coach who helped me make this transition from online course creator to consultant. And within 1 week of working with him, I had signed my first 3 paying clients. Again, could I have done that by myself? Probably, maybe, but it definitely wouldn't have happened in a week. So I'm constantly investing in myself, in my business, in my skills, and every single time I do, I grow, my business grows, and I make more money than before. But you do have to have that mindset. It's that abundance mindset that you're willing to spend something and you're going to get so much more back in return. And so I would like to make you an offer today. I'm working on a group program right now, so I'm not taking on a lot of one-on-one clients. But I know how scary it can be when you want to start a business and you don't really know what to do or how to do it. You know, maybe you have a side hustle like a blog or an Instagram account, but you're not really making any money with it. Maybe you've been sitting on an idea but have no idea how to get started. Or maybe you don't have any idea what it is that you want to do, but you know you want to do something. So it doesn't matter if you don't have a business yet, or even a side hustle. remember, I specialize in helping women monetize their passion and taking them from idea to business so that they can make their first $1,000 or their first $5,000 and then consistently keep making that. And I would like to offer 5 spots, so basically 5 people to take a one-on-one call with me, a strategy call at no cost. All you have to do is email me, and I'm going to put my email in the Facebook chat as well, at hello@carlabiesinger.com, and we'll have a one-on-one call about 45 minutes. And we'll look at your current situation, we'll look at your goals, and I'll help you map out a plan to get you to achieving those goals. How does that sound? If that's something you're interested in, then type in yes, either on Instagram or in Facebook Live. Absolutely no strings attached, just to help you get you started. Awesome, Kim. Awesome. I am looking forward to hearing from you, ladies. So my email address, I want to just type it in. Yes. My email address is, hang on, let me just put this in here. hello@carlabiesinger.com. Okay, so I only really have time right now to take on 5 people, so this is very much a first come, first served offer. So if you'd like to talk to me for about 45 minutes and get clear on an action plan to help you go from idea to business and to help you make your first $1,000 by monetizing your passion, then all you have to do is send me an email and we'll set up a call. Okay, so this is basically everything I wanted to share with you today. If you have any questions, now would be the time to ask. And don't forget, oh, thank you, Linda. Don't forget to sign up for the mindset and meditation training on Friday. I'm gonna share the link. It's actually on Instagram. If you go to the link in my bio, you'll see the link there, and you can sign up. It's completely free. It's honestly, please do join. It will be amazing. If meditation and training your mindset, training your mind and having that success mindset is something you're interested in, then definitely you don't want to miss that. I'm going to share the link here in Facebook Live as well. So this is everything I had to share with you today. Last few minutes, last chance for you to put in your questions. Otherwise, I am going to love you and leave you. And I hope this was helpful to you. And I definitely enjoyed talking about this topic because it is something that is very important to me. And my mission is to help thousands of women go after their dreams and create a business around something they love and create the lifestyle they want and they deserve. So you're going to definitely hear me talk about this again in the future. You're most welcome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this has been really fun. Thank you so much for joining me and for being here. The replay will be available inside the Facebook group for a few days. So if you haven't joined my Facebook group yet, also go to the link in my bio on Instagram and you can join right there. And I look forward to receiving your emails and then to taking on 5 new business ladies. Okay, I'm off.